Right, just shut this door. There we go. Hello, hello. Oh, it's weird sitting that side and then coming up here and then seeing you all. That's fantastic. Okay, so as part of the plan, it's very much at the top end of your funnel. Okay, it's the top end of your difficult. From writing copy to is to even where are you going to find your customers. So today's we'll whip through this talk. Okay, if you've got any questions, put your hand up, that's fine, don't mind taking questions. But we'll then go back through the talk with the workbook in front of you. Okay? If you're like me, you like to know kind of where you are and where you're heading. So once you've got the workbooks in your hand, you'll know where all of this is heading because it'll help knowing some of the first stuff to answer the questions. Are you coming through? You're coming through. Don't look up. So, hello and welcome. Let's start. Usually at this point I tell you who I am. If you don't know me and you're a regular, then I would suggest looking back at all of the previous stuff with the hub and you'll know who I am. But I'm Stuart. I'm usually the hub host. Lou stood in for me today because otherwise it's a weird thing to introduce myself. Hello, and now hands together for Stuart Morrison. So I help not only market and plan the hub, but I also put in place the content and hold the mastermind and do various functions in and around business mentoring. So this is one of the things which most of the people I mentor, we have to go back to basics because everything stems from this. So if you get this right, it makes everything that happens from here on in so much easier. So these are the base principles. Oh, hello. Base principles, okay? And this is the base principle for all marketing. What you're doing, whether you're writing a piece of copy or you're building a website or you're doing anything. So it's market, message, media. Okay? And it's always in that order and it never varies. So if you're having trouble writing your copy, it's probably because you don't know who you're having the conversation with. It's a bit like a one-sided conversation. So you need to know who you're having that conversation with so you can shape and form your message, the words you use accordingly. So what is the market? Well, it's individual or businesses that you want to have a conversation with, okay? They are ideal customer. They display the attributes that you know that they can buy what it is you're selling, whether it's goods, services, whatever it is. The message. So you know who your market is, okay? And once you know who your market is, you can formulate a message that talks about what you need for your goods and services. Okay? It's important the value you bring. So it's no good just saying, oh, and if you've been anywhere about the hub, you'll have heard me say this before, oh, we provide business solutions, okay? Because nobody knows what the value is of that. But if you say, we provide cleaning services for your business, then you know exactly what service that person does for you, so they understand the value. And then the media. These are channels that you will reach, your message will reach your ideal customer. Okay, so where are their ideal? Who are they spending their time with, and what do they do when they're there? If a lot of your customers are spending a lot of time in their car, then maybe advertising might be a good idea. But if you're speaking to putting it in a private magazine, you're adding a private magazine, might reach people that you're trying to have a conversation with. So it's all about putting your message where your ideal customers are looking at spending time. You with me so far? Fantastic. Okay. And this is the base principle, like I say. Always this order, never vary it. If you find you're struggling with whatever it is you're marketing, go back and think to yourself, who am I having this conversation with? Okay? So you always start with it, and you always start by identifying your market because to who you want to talk to, that's who's most likely to buy, and therefore is your most likely ideal customer. Now, this might not necessarily be all of the customers you have. This might just be a segment for a certain product. Okay, so don't think you have an ideal customer profile. You might have 3 or 4 different, depending on what it is you're providing, where they are at their stage of need. So think of this as I have to fit everything in a box. So an ideal customer. Okay, so let's explore the idea of an ideal customer. Some people call them avatars, buyer personas, or prospect profiles. These are all names for the same thing. This is a person or a business that has identifiable traits. Now, if you're saying this, you might start with the business. You know, this particular type of business would buy from us. But you still need to drill into who in that business is going to buy from you. Okay? You're selling to people, you're not selling to a business, although a business might benefit. Okay? So identifying the business is the first step. Identifying that business you are going to have a value-driven conversation with, that is extremely important. So there are some useful business terms, and I find these terms people kind of interchange, but they have very specific meanings actually. So a marketplace is everyone your business, okay, the size of a market, okay, but not everybody in that marketplace may be currently in need of what it is you are offering, okay, and they're called leads. Who could potentially make benefit of what you're selling right now. And then a prospect is somebody who has either come across your marketing information or something that lets you know that they've got their hand raised or are potentially specifically in your business. Marketplace is everyone, leads is everyone who wants to buy, and a prospect is somebody who you've had some kind of value exchange, whether it's they've been to your website, you know who a prospect is, and other you know, which is why it's always important you start to build that relationship with prospects early, because you want to know who they are so you can have the right conversation for what they want. Okay? So to create an ideal customer, or to understand who your ideal customer is, you need to construct a profile, okay? So you're not stalking them, you're not spending a lot of time, figuring out what they're doing on a day-to-day basis, but you need a really good idea of who is likely to buy from you. Because there's nothing worse than, as a small business, wasting your time having sales conversations with people who either can't buy or don't want to buy. Yeah? We've all had those conversations. You get to the end of it and they say, oh, I'm just looking, or I'll get back to you, just email me the information. And you think, oh, should have asked that question to start with, when are you looking for this to take place? And it's perfectly acceptable for as a business for you to ask this question. Okay? When you start these questions in the sales process and the person they're not quite sure, the alarm bells go off. Am I wasting my time here? Okay? And it's quite important to say to them, look, if you're not interested right now, I can send you some generic information, and when you're more focused on what it is you want, then perhaps we can have a further conversation. Because your time is valuable. You'll have heard me talk about this at length, but your time is extremely valuable. And every minute you're spending not talking to somebody who's not actually a good customer is time you're wasting. Okay? Your customer profile is as much real data as you can find. Okay? So once you start to flesh out your profile, do you know if they've got various traits and attributes which help you if they're a good prospect or not? We're going to go through this in depth, okay? So the workbook will take you through and build on these principles so that you will have a very clear understanding of who you're selling to. And quite often when you do this, you discover that actually identifying early marketing is very people completely. Yeah, or we're talking to them at the wrong stage of where they are. Um, so you need to also put in speculated education. Okay, as a business owner, you are educating yourself on a daily basis about who your ideal customers are. Okay, so if you know a particular type of trait is a red flag that says this person is just going to waste my time or never buys, then put that in your profile. Okay, because you've got to trust and respect your own judgment. Yeah, if you get that feeling of I've had this conversation before and it never ends well. As a web developer, it was always people who say, "Oh, the last 3 web developers were complete idiots," and all 3 of them, huh? Yeah, yeah, exactly that. You know, literally, when I used to have a design business a long time ago, and it was always the people who blamed that were at fault, not the fact that they hadn't told you this specific piece of information that was really important. So learning to understand, you know, oh yeah, when somebody says that, that's a warning there, I need to be aware of that. Put it in your ideal customer profile. So why do you create an ideal customer? Well, it helps you understand those prospects better. So when you're having a sales conversation, you have in your head, oh, okay, so they're a new mum and they've got these time constraints and da-da-da-da-da. I need to be really quick with my pitch and make them understand the value really quickly because they've probably got a baby in their arms or in the pushchair. So understanding what your customer needs are and where they are at their stage of life development or business development, that will help you to craft the right sales message. It also makes it easier to tailor all your marketing content. Okay? Small businesses are we're really good at trying to sell to everybody. Okay? Whereas the internet and marketing in general is really good at identifying niche, okay, and selling to a niche. There are reasons why. My dad is a member of the Civil Service Motoring Association. Every month in that magazine is a catalogue, and in that catalogue is a load of products for people of a certain age. Yeah, you know, the heated blanket and the big slipper with both feet in it and like that. Yeah. So, and that doesn't happen by accident. You know, they know that these people are sitting around, they read the magazine cover to cover, so they're fully engaged. My dad's got a pile of these things, and he regularly, he's bought a dash cam, okay? He does like 10 miles a week. He's got that dash cam though. He's upgraded his sat nav. I don't know why, because everywhere he goes, he takes great pride. Now you go to 31 and then you turn off on the A427. So that doesn't happen by mistake. And it's understanding what your customers are experiencing and doing that helps you put the right information in front of them at the right time. Also knowing how likely it is they buy. Okay? Hands up here who has a question in their sales conversation which says something along the lines of, when are you likely to want to get this started? Or when do you want to start this by? That's fantastic. That's really encouraging. The amount of times I've sat in a room with a small business person, they hang up on a live customer call and they've not said, you know, when do you want to buy? Asking for that commitment. When is this happening? What date do you want this delivered by? All of those questions help to identify if the person is serious about converting from a prospect into a customer. And it also allows you to identify sales properties. A really good sales conversation will end with not only a sale, obviously, but a deeper understanding of that customer's needs. Okay, so all you have to do is ask the right questions and listen, and then repeat back what the person's told you, if that's what you can deliver, and they'll buy from you. When I had a marketing business, we were always told, oh, you need to be in the room to sell an events package over 5 grand. You just can't do it over the phone. And I did it on regular occasions because I found out what the person needed. And I said to them, what's your ideal, event? How do you see us working at your ideal event? Well, tell us what their entire event in their head would look like. And if we did this, and this, which they just told me, would be willing to sign up now. Well, they can't go anywhere from that because they painted themselves into a corner because that's what they want. If we can deliver that, are you interested? Yeah. And then it was just a matter of negotiation. They'd agreed in principle, it was just negotiating the price. So don't be afraid of letting the customer tell you exactly what they want and then telling them that's exactly how you're going to do it. So how to create the ideal customer, okay? Where do you get that information from? Where do you find the research data that's going to tell you who the ideal customer is? Well, you can ask current customers. Yeah? Think about a very short interview with current customers. If you've got a smallish business, you can just say, nothing more flattering to somebody than being able to help. Would you be interested? Obviously, you've got to catch them at the right time, but by asking the right questions, you will understand more about the customers. And it's all good asking you buy from us, okay? Their motivations and their needs. But ask the question, why did you nearly not buy from us? Okay? What thing nearly stopped you from becoming a customer? Not only will you find out some information that you can improve, and immediately it makes your business better, hopefully to people who have converted, be able to offer that thing, whatever it is. But it shows you the weak spots in your business, maybe in your sales pitch, that you can immediately improve. But it also gives you a tangible need that the customer has. Oh, we almost didn't buy because you never told us you did it on a Tuesday. Oh, right. So explain my sales pitch that we definitely do it on a Tuesday or asking current customers. Review testimonials and feedback. So if you've got current feedback and you've got current testimonials, read them. Yeah, there'll be information in those testimonials which you can use in your sales pitches. I loved it because Gnome was extremely smiley and friendly. Yeah, we don't think of that. Oh, what's the advantage? Well, if that makes their life easier because you're friendly, use that in your sales message. They're telling you these things because it's important to them. That's why they bought. You can look at in-house data. So you can go on your website. You can look at your Google Analytics. Who's got Google Analytics on their website? Okay, kind of, yeah. It's all just a load of numbers and all the rest of it. I think what we need to do is perhaps a beginner's guide to Google Analytics, because it's not that difficult. I know that in your head's like, oh, it's all right for him. He's wearing a suit with formulas on it. I bet he understands every single one of them. But actually, just understanding a few key dimensions in the metrics will give you the information you want. You don't need to drill into all of the ins and outs of it, but understanding what your customers are doing when they're on your website and who is on your website can really help you. Sue, did you raise your hand? No. Okay, sorry. I thought you... So, looking at any in-house data that you may have, from previous sales, people buying in the second 2 weeks. Why is that? Okay, and understanding that, oh, well, it's because people buy when they've got their wages. Great, well, we'll start doing our marketing on the last week of the month because that then feeds into people spending their money. You can buy in third-party data. Okay, there's quite a few places out there. You just have to Google it. Be careful when you do buy that the data is current and up to date. Really good data houses will work with you so that you get what you want, but don't necessarily go directly to that unless you want to go big. Okay, and majority of small businesses, I find, so you can go to third-party data, but not unless you're scaling up. You can conduct research. Like I said, market research of your current customers is fine. If your customer, ideal target customer is in a specific group, LinkedIn group, Facebook group, on a forum, you might direct them to a very short survey that you want them to help you with. Okay? You just need the answers to the questions that allow you to make decisions about your marketing and your sales conversations. And as I say, your previous experience. What experience have you had of selling to these people, which will identify those who are in urgent need and those who are a waste of your time? You need to find out more about your marketplace. So when you start the market research, just assume that the targeted customer avatar or buyer persona that you want to sell to is your best prospect. Okay? Go and look at the entire marketplace and go and see not only who's buying, but what are they buying, what products and services are out there from all the competition, from international, national, regional, local, and get a good understanding of what's actually happening out there. Okay. A good way of identifying what's actually selling. Go to Facebook or Google and you see the same working on Facebook ads or Google ads coming up time after time. It means that they're working, because people don't tend to spend money over a length of time on stuff that's not working. It's just the way it is. It's self-fulfilling prophecy. You spend a load of money on stuff that doesn't work, you go out of business. However, try to think about signing up, even if you have to sign up via a friend to their address, for the bigger competitors' offline marketing. Get on a few mailing lists, okay? Because then you will see what is actually working. Because the people who are doing regular mailing and mail-outs are spending more money than people who are just dabbling on Facebook or Google, okay? And if it comes into your in your mail regularly, like I was talking about my dad's, the catalogs, that's obviously they slightly change what's in it. Every month he gets that. So that's happening because they're keeping their fingers crossed. That's happening because it's working. So where you sign up for a mailing list, get on it and see what's working. You can use surveys and interviews, focus groups, sit down with a group of previous customers, give them tea and coffees and just start a chat about what do you think I could do to improve my business. Obviously they need to be trusted customers, but you might offer them, if you do this, we'll give you a percentage off your next treatment. Give them an incentive. Observation and data, like I said, data, so observe. What do people do if you've got a shop? Where do they wander? What is drawing their attention? If you've got a website, where are they going to first? Where are they looking on your website? Where do they go from there? Knowing this will inform you as to what the needs of the customer are. What's driving them? What is their intent? Ultimately, they want something to change to happen or a product to come into their life. You have to understand what process they go through to get you to supply this. You can offer tests and trials. Yeah, you can say to people for a trial period, or you sign up, you get 30 days free. If you cancel at the end of it, no foul. At that point, you might ask them, why didn't you buy? Why did you buy? Again, you're getting feedback. You're building that profile. But you're about your marketplace, because when you know the size and shape of your marketplace, you can better change your marketing conversation to suit the people that are really ready to buy, because then you'll have much more successful conversion rate. You can look at Google and you can type in any search term you like. It will tell you whether the trend for that search term has increased or decreased over time. And you can go all the way back to 2004. So there's a big chunk of data there that you can use to drill into whether or not my marketplace, the keywords that I need to be found for, is actually increasing or decreasing. Because if it's decreasing, you might have to think twice. Okay, there are fewer people in my marketplace online who want to buy because the search volume is a significant amount. And you won't need to be a data scientist. It's literally showing you on a graph whether it's going down or up. So all you've got to do is type in your search term and have a look, and you can drill down into the UK or the US or whatever. It's a useful tool, definitely one to bookmark. Another way of finding out how your marketplace is shaping up, and look at top 10 products, books in your industry, because that will tell you roughly what people are interested in. Okay, it will tell you what their current focus is. And you're always going to get similar books in the top 10. You know, you've got your top 10 bestsellers that have been hanging around for ages. But you can see from the titles of the books. You might also want to drill into the chapter headings, because those chapter headings might be really good ways of putting content on your website. Okay, I'm not saying rip off the book, but if the book has 10 chapter headings that are about 10 particular issues, then those issues, I would say, are pretty much spot on to the user ideal customer need, because otherwise they wouldn't be buying the book. And look at your most visited web page. Again, Google Analytics, it's not that difficult. Click, 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 and you can see not only what your highest indexed landing page is, what's getting the most traffic, probably your home page, but also look at the blogs that you're writing. Are they getting traffic? If they are getting traffic, where do people go when they've been on the blog? There are ways of tracking your customer through your Google Analytics and seeing where they go. Because not everybody who's going to go to your homepage is going to become a customer. So don't think that volume equals sales in this regard. Sometimes a good quality customer might land on a blog post that you've written 2 years ago and turn into a customer. And you know that everybody who blog post, 80% of them become customers. Well, it would be incumbent on you at that point to then start increasing the type of content that is in that blog post on your website. See what I'm saying? So not everybody who lands on your homepage is going to become a customer, but if you've got some content where you know 80% of the people who come to this page pick up the phone and we have a conversation, well, maybe you should start thinking about putting that information higher up on the website, on the homepage, in certain places that people will find. So you might then look at your market, your customer, and your product. So you understand what the size of your market is, who you are actually trying to sell to, which is what this entire process is about, but who you're actually selling to. Okay? This customer profile, does it match who you're actually having those sales conversations with and are becoming customers? If not, why not? Do you have an idealized version of your customer that isn't seen in the real world? Or is it that the people that you want to sell to just aren't interested in buying what it is that you're offering? It can be a tough one to hear that, you know, sorry, we don't need what you're selling. And is this your ideal customer? Like I say, you know, if you're building an ideal profile around an ideal customer, but you're actually selling to these people over here, go where the money is. Okay? Don't build an ideal customer that's never going to buy from you. But by the same token, if you are selling to a default ideal customer, the people who just happen to buy from you, and they're not your premium customers, they're the ones that waste all your time and don't give you much profit, then don't be afraid to change your target marketing. Okay, all the customers you're getting at the moment are because of the marketing you put out. So think about whether or not they're actually meeting your ideal customer profile. So what you want to sell. Okay. Don't just sell what you want to sell. There's a big difference. And quite often we see people saying, I've got a great idea in the marketplace, and they spend a fortune on marketing and sales and all the rest of it, and you get indifference. Yeah? This is the enemy of sales. Not a no, it's ambivalence. Yeah? Not interested. It might be, I don't know. And are you selling what the market wants? Okay, you might have those ideal customers, but they might be a really tiny niche that doesn't actually make much profit for you. Okay, if that's the case, find a better prospect in your marketplace. People who are dying to get what it is that you're selling and would run it with handful of money. Okay? You've got to look at the timing and the competitors. So are there specific events that buy trigger? We spoke earlier about when wages go in. Do sales go up for your business? Is it built around events? Are they buying for weddings, births? Are people buying because of an immediate need? You know, so a little bit like going to the doctor. You don't go to the doctor for a chin wag. You go there because you probably have a problem, or you want to discover if you've got a problem. So people only come to you when they have a very specific need, and what triggers that need. What is the time scale between their initial inquiry and their purchase? Okay, if you've got a very long lead time, then you need to have a really good communications series to keep that person informed that you're still there and still waiting for their conversation. You can try and contract that, but if you're selling to specific businesses that have a very long lead time because they have to go back and do a procurement process and then talk to the board and all the rest of it, you know, B2B can be 6 to 18 months. Oh, we've got to let our current contract run out, which happens in 6 months, but we're working now. Okay, great. How can we stay at the forefront of their mind so they don't get a week before and then suddenly phone us up and say, right, we're ready to buy. And you're like, wait, there's at least people together to come and work at your place. I think particularly for you, Dave. So think about, you know, is there a transition period that is needed? Can you sell that as a benefit? You know, we work with you during this transition period. It's not just about the sale, it's about how you onboard that customer, what the benefits of what you do. Are there any other buying parameters? You know, do they have to pay all up front? Can they pay over a period of time? Are you identifying customers who are going to put money in your bank, or are you identifying customers who just want to argue about the price and get a discount? So think about the product or the service as a holistic event where it has all sorts of buying parameters that you're going to need to ensure that the customer understands. And how do you weave that into not only the buyer, ideal customer, but marketing? You know, if there's something that is absolutely vital that they do before they can become a customer, sooner rather than later, or have explained it sooner rather than later, because you don't want to get all the way down the funnel and then have them turn around and go, oh no, we'd never do that, sorry. You've wasted their time, you've wasted your time. And look at the other alternatives in the marketplace. Okay, we never want to look at the competitor and just copy them, but look at the competitor and go, okay, what is the advantage of them? What do they do that either I don't do or not so good at? Don't just look at competitors, look at all of the things in the marketplace. So, you know, if you're a photographer, you might think to yourself, well, I'm going to look at other photographers. But you might also look at the wedding book, where they collate all of the photographs from your friends and their phones. That might be what you're competing against. And so if you've only got information about how you compete with other photographers, you're staying blind to a potential hiccup that might take sales that you could convert by saying, that as well. We'll take all your photographs into a book and you get that on top of. So don't just look at your direct competitors, look at what is competing with your goods and services for your ideal customer's money. So you want to look at your ideal customer's profile, the entire background, their name and gender, obviously make up a name, something that summarises them. But also, understanding who they are from a human point of perspective is really important. Are you selling to somebody who is young? Are you selling to somebody age? What is their education level? Yeah, that's going to be really important when you use language, because you can't use advanced language if a customer has a very poor understanding of English or doesn't like to read. Quite often we go on websites, there's sheets and sheets and sheets of information. And that information is great information and is brilliant, but, there are 20 things competing for my mind space at any one time. The cat, the kids, I've got to cook my husband's meal. I'm sorry to be sort of cis-het, but the point is you've got a conversation that your customer is having before you have it, so that you understand where they are. Where are they located locally? Are they regional? People all around the world. Budget, yeah. There's no point having a price point that is way over what they can afford. But by the same token, don't think you have to sell cheap. When Dyson came onto the marketplace with their Hoover, it was vastly more expensive than any other thing on the marketplace. Vastly more expensive. By hundreds. It's now one of the best-selling Hoovers. An expectation of what to expect from a Hoover, but what they expected people to pay for a Hoover. They did it again with a hairdryer and a fan. So don't think that just because your marketplace only sells at one price, yeah, that you have to stick there. Look at the roles and responsibilities that person has, their job or their industry that they're in. Okay, that will be really important. Maybe more so for B2B, but also think about what their role is in the family. Are they a single parent? Are they a dad who's been divorced and gets the kids at the weekend? What's going on in their life? The responsibility only in their business, but in their home life. Think about the job titles that commonly held. If you've got to send marketing messages to people and they're going to land in their inbox, letterbox, you're going to have to know, does it have to get past the dragon keeper? Are we going to have to think about sidestepping, things that are in place to stop marketing messages reaching them? Think about their preferred methods of communication. I've told people for the last few years, email is not a good way of getting in touch with me. It really isn't, yeah? Book time in my diary and you'll get a call back, and I'd much prefer to spend half an hour discussing your problem and then putting in place the solution to it than having an extended email conversation that ends up being split between 13 different people. It's a complete nightmare. What tools do they use in their job? Software tools, action tools. Do they use personnel to achieve something? Do you need to understand what those personnel do for that person? This is quite a deep dive you're doing. This isn't just surface, and it might start on the surface, but you should be iterating your customer profile so that you get to understand them at a deeper and deeper level. And then you can improve your marketing, yeah, because you're reaching that deeper level of understanding of who you're selling to, and are able to tweak your sales message, to tweak your products and your services. Interesting one is the success success by which they measure a successful outcome. Yeah, how does that person doing that job, what does success look like? They get a pat back from their boss? Is it that their net promoter score stays over a certain level? What does success look like to them, and can you weave that into your sales message? Yeah? If you're selling to a new mum or a new parent, success might just be an extra hour's sleep. Yeah? Or it might be that they get to spend more time doing the things they want. But you've got to find out what the success outcome that your ideal customer considers a success. Again, put that in your marketing. Have that in the sales conversation. Like I said, when we did the events, what does a great event look like to you? Tell us. Yeah, don't be afraid to ask these people. Think about who they report to. Do they report direct to the boss? Are they the boss? Are they reporting to a board or shareholders? Again, that all feeds into what success look like. And what are their important goals? Short and long term. You know, short term, it's to deliver this project. Long term, it's to deliver a 10% uplift on our sales over the course of a year. If you know that sort of thing, then you again can weave that into the sales conversation and build your profile out to include that. Think about their current challenges, life challenges, work challenges. Are there major roadblocks currently in their business or in their life? What are the biggest challenges for them currently to reach those goals? If you know that they need to grow their business by 10%, and there's major problems with coronavirus or whatever, slowing things down, how can you deliver what you deliver to tell them that it will get them closer to their goals? Because you need to be their biggest ally in reaching those goals. And as soon as they see that, it makes the selling process a lot easier. Where is their time spent? Yeah, both at work and home. Is it spent with their family? Is it spent with hobbies and leisure time activities? What websites do they spend time on? What magazines do they read? Again, going back to the principle I told you about real-world marketing, people who have a niche hobby or interest, and if there's a magazine worth you putting in that magazine, expensive or niche magazines, because they don't have the circulation. But by the same token, if they're trusted in their industry and are a reference every month for that niche or that interest, then it might be worthwhile. Think about what time is spent enjoying these activities. What sort of thing is going to stop them? You know, worrying at work, preventing them having positive, stress-free time with their kids. You know, all of this underlying stuff that's motivating them can be used in presenting what it is you do in a positive way. Common objections, okay? We've all put it our best pitch to our customers, and we've all heard those various objections. I'll think about it. Oh, when my wife gets home, I'll ask her, why they say no, down, and what's motivating them to say no? Because you can address that before you get to the no. Yeah? Oh, if we're going to do this, you know, and your business partner needs to be there, I need to book in when you're both there so you can both understand it. Okay? And if they're not willing to, well, we can't have that conversation, because what always ends up happening is I tell it to one person, the other person then doesn't that pitch, and then they don't see the value in it, and you're fighting them to get them on board. Oh, right. Oh, okay. Yeah, but we'll come out of hours if we need to see both of you. So 45 minutes. You know, putting all of those things in your marketing and in your sales conversations helps the person see where the value is. Why would they delay buying? Why would they respond to marketing? Think about these things. What's going on that is a speed bump or a hurdle that they need to get over, just to raise their hand and say, yeah, we're interested in that. How do you make it easier for them? And are there any issues, technical or otherwise, preventing them from acting on a message? I received an email from a marketing guy that I follow, and clicked on the link, and the page was 404 not found. So I cut and pasted it in, it was still not found. I went into the code and I found that actually it was misformed. There was a space where there shouldn't have been a space. So I took that out and I got to the actual page, but I would guess that a very small percentage of people would have actually taken the time to do that. And if you've got any marketing that you're putting out, put it in front of people, bring it here, we'll have a look at it, we don't mind that. Send it to your BizHub, or send it to a customer you trust. What does this say? Does it tell you what I do? Is it all the links working in your email client? Just a simple sense check like that can save you a nightmare when you send something to someone and it doesn't work. And then you've got to, you think, do I send it again and risk peeing them off? Or is that it? Or what? Yeah, just simple things like that can make a big difference. And contraindicators. So we think about the positive things that our customer profile needs to have. This is what they need in place. But what things are negatives? Oh, we never sell to people who've just bought a new car for whatever reason. Because we're selling a car, and if they've just bought a car, they're not going to buy another car, or it's unlikely. They don't particularly rate our industry or our business. What things do you know? Because, again, are you marketing to those people? What are deal breakers? So when we went to buy a house, I had and deal breakers, and this is how I buy everything. Wish list are all of the things that we would like to have. Deal breakers are all of the things we have to have. So when we bought our house, I needed an office in the bottom of the garden. It was a deal breaker if we didn't have a garden big enough to build a studio. The amount of times we would explain this to the estate agent, right? The garden has to be big enough for a studio of this size, right? Be taken, and they go, oh no, we've got a spare room. Literally walk out, you're not going to look at the rest of the house. I said, no, you've just wasted my time. As a deal breaker for me. And the ones that worked with us were the ones who understood exactly what our needs were, not trying to bend it to what they wanted to sell. So find out from your customers what the deal breakers are. Oh, if you can't do this and you can't do that, then we can't buy it that we don't want to buy, we just can't buy. Yeah? Because it might open you up to a whole new marketplace. And what questions can you put in your sales pitch that rule these people out, that highlight these contraindicators? Yeah? Then think about other red lights, red flags, issues that might prevent someone from buying. And make sure that you have a process in your sales and marketing that lets the person know that you're not a good fit. Okay, because marketing is a filter. That's all it is. It's about filtering the right people in to have the right conversations. So you need to build your filter around a profile so that you know that when you're having that conversation, all of those things that we've spoken about are already in place. They've looked at that. We've been told that. They know this. Yeah, you can reinforce it in the sales process, but it's good that they are self-selecting. And then other an ideal customer, can you sell an alternative product or service? Yeah, like I said, it doesn't matter if you've got 10 customer profiles, but which ones are the most profitable? There's no point in selling to people that take up all your time and only small return. Could you sell an alternative product and service? Can you take your base product and service and add service on the top of it? I was thinking about your tea house the other day whilst I was pondering, and I thought to myself, well, with the coronavirus and people not wanting to travel, could you do like a one-day vacay? You know, we get a car to come along, pick you up. They bring us to our tea house. You get pampered. You get a hand massage, a foot massage. You spend time in the spa. You get a whole facial treatment and back massage. You then get a afternoon tea, yeah, and then you get transport home, and we give you a recommendation of the best food to eat, and we can get it delivered from our favourite whatever. That person has not had to do a thing all day. Literally had to get up, get dressed, get in the car. You'll do everything for them. Now, you might charge a big premium for that, but that person is getting an experience they can't get elsewhere. Yeah? And you are giving them a holiday in yeah? And they don't have to go to the airport, they don't have to mix with a load of people. It's exclusive, it's high quality, high class. And you might have to work with a few people to make this happen. But it's easier to sell that package than, come and I'll spend an hour in my, because then you're filling up lots of hours. Yeah, and that might be a premium product, and you sell 10 of those a month. Well, anything else is extra. And do you have an upsell? Yeah? So if the person comes along and says, yes, we want to buy it, oh, okay, well, hold your horses. What if we did 2 of them? Or what if we did another one in a month's time? Yeah, you have to pay a little bit extra to get... An example of this was yesterday. I went to buy a chocolate bar, and it was 75p for 1 chocolate bar, yeah, and £1 for 2. So we bought 2. It's 25p for the next one, but it's not, because they've stacked it in their favour, and I know that as a salesperson as well. I know exactly what they've done. But 2 for £1, I'm definitely going to eat another one of those chocolate bars, but it's only going to cost me 25. I feel almost virtuous, you know. I'm saving myself money by spending more. And a final thought, any other customer profiles. Like I said, don't think because you have a customer profile, that's the only customer profile. Explore all of the customer profiles you have in as much detail as you need, and then think about which ones are making you the most money and go after them. Because that's how you initially grow a small business. It's not about volume. It's about upselling the customers you have to a premium product. Because there's only one of you and a finite amount of time. So, that's it. That's us. That's the ideal customer profile. We've got workbooks. We'll have a coffee or a tea, if that's your thing. And we'll come back, we'll answer questions, and we'll go through the workbook as well. Deal? See you in 10.